One of those truly underrated positions, and yet perhaps one of the most valuable ones in the sports information director. He is a true source of information on influence and rankings, helps educate the public, and makes us aware of great performances and records. Brian Sylva holds that title. And Brian, you go just beyond just the numbers and the press releases, don't you? I mean, you do a lot more other things that I'd like you to share with us, such as announcing games, et cetera. Please expand on that.
Well, I think a lot of the fun that I end up having in my job is doing the announcing, also doing social media and working with student athletes such as yourself. A lot of what I end up doing is putting rosters together, putting rosters on our website, I should say, putting other accessible information to not only the media but the general public. Also up on our website, managing our conference website for the entire Foothill Conference as we put together a new website. So it's a busy, very labor-intensive job, but it's very rewarding.
We discussed this before. I remember, I believe, coming back from a baseball or maybe that pizza place. Well, anyways, it doesn't matter. We were talking about how you had a sequence of warming up to announcing a basketball game, because you are a very colorful announcer. You know, if anybody's ever been to Valley College's home basketball games, you really get it going, you know, after a while and create that atmosphere. Tell us and share with the audience how you kind of like go as similar to a baseball pitcher, how you warm up your vocal cords until you just go into a frenzy, which is towards the end of the game. Go ahead.
Well, as I work through the initial announcing of an event, especially at a basketball game, I'll begin with talking about the general decorum policies and various other things, and those kinds of things warm up my vocal cords as I get ready to announce the starting lineups. So even announcing the starting visiting lineup is a bit of a warm-up to when I get really rambunctious and crazy when it comes to announcing our home starting lineup.
So it's part of the master plan to just go through all these. What about the snack bar? How did you come up with that one? That's become one of your trademarks.
Well, that credit I actually have to give to one of Sue Crebbin's former players, a player by the name of Jasmine Ray, who was sitting on the table with me, the scorer's table. She operated the shot clock and was giving me some suggestions and said that I should promote the snack bar. And I already was, but it just wasn't as lively as some of my other stuff. And so she wrote down something, and I kind of worked with that and massaged it, and now it becomes what I've been known for in the gymnasium is snack bar, snack bar, snack bar, and it just gets kind of crazy.
Oh boy, how do I keep a straight face while doing this interview? Anyways, you had an experience in Washington D.C. with politics. Do you see any parallel universes or between what you saw there and dealing with athletics, the everyday intricacy of athletics?
Well, surprisingly, attitudes are similar amongst leaders in political realms and in education realms. But I think one of the key components is marketing. In Washington, D.C., you are amongst many people who have skills and abilities sometimes far exceeding your own, and you need to be able to go out there and market yourself and market what you do as a vocation. And we got to do that. We have to do that same thing at Valley in order to keep us in the forefront of people's minds. And so that kind of marketing and thought process is something that I've been able to add to my job as a part of my daily responsibilities.
Brian, you've seen a lot of great events at Valley College. What are the ones that stand out in your mind, some of the highlights in the front row that you've had there?
Well, I would have to put number 3 was the marathon soccer game against
Oh my God.
Cyprus.
Yes.
The 8-7 shootout. in freezing, absolutely terrible conditions.
In the dark,
Uh,
almost,
it,
almost. It was like a movie. It really was. It was like a.
it certainly was, and of course that was the year that our women's soccer team ended up winning state. And then my second would have to be last year when we beat Chafee in football for the first time since 1999 on KVCR. It was a great experience. And then my number one would have to be Janelle Jr. On Sue Crevin's basketball team back in, I think it was '08. We were playing Palomar and we were tied 52-52 with the seconds closing down, and she had not hit a shot all game, and
Yep.
nails a three-pointer to win it, and it just still sticks out in my mind as one of the best moments I've had at Valley College.
You know, Brian, when I visit you in your office, I see some photographs of yourselves with some various elected officials, labor leaders, sports stars, as well as your lovely wife. If you were not doing if you're not a sports information director at SBVC, what else would you be doing nowadays?
Well, I think that I'd probably be a municipal lobbyist, and at either the federal or statewide level. Um, one of the key things for a lot of our municipalities is the loss of a loss of redevelopment funds, and to have somebody to advocate for those issues would be something that would be a passion of mine. And I don't necessarily want to be the guy in charge of things, but I wouldn't mind helping the guy move things forward.
What do you really like about being a sports information director? What really just, sparks your interest or gives you that motivation that you love about your job?
Well, there's a couple of things. One of which, of course, is dealing with my coworkers, fellow coaches, also yourself, and one of the other things, of course, on top of that would be also dealing with student athletes. But the other thing would have to be being able to beat our opponents in the marketing campaign, if you will, like getting a headline above a Chafee College, or getting a full length story above an RCC or anything like that. Being able to get that competitive edge when it comes, and KVCR is a huge element to that.
That was my next question. I was going to ask you, how do you feel this partnership with our KVCR television, Channel 24 here, the way that, as vast an area as we cover, how do you feel this plays into your forte as a sports information director?
Well, this is immeasurable. I could have asked for a better situation to have great guys like Robert and Michael working so hard, as well as the students in the media program over there who are really just doing a fantastic job. It makes my job a lot easier. I'm able to go out there and share that we're the only community college that does this in California. That broadcast these events live on television. Other schools can claim that they do this on webcast and various other things, but we do it on TV, and that's a rare area. It allows our student athletes, who I truly care about, the opportunity to be shown in such a positive light.
With the new facilities looming on the horizon, how exciting is it, and how do you envision, your job, as far as, it must be a plethora of information and marketing that you're going to have to, tackle on, bringing in the new facilities to the forefront, letting anybody know, what a great setting we're going to have here for our student athletes. Expand on that, would you please?
Well, making a step in the right direction by being able to secure our soccer facilities was one of the first things we did. Of course, in addition to, unfortunately, as a result of that, we lose our softball field for a couple of years, but we'll be bringing softball back on campus. I think one of the other exciting elements would be when they start actually moving the portables next to the planetarium. When they start making that move, that means that they're ready to start evening the ground out and start pounding I-beams into the ground. And
It's showtime.
it's showtime. It really is.
It's showtime,
It really
baby.
is.
Brian, you and I talk a lot, about history and generally the history of our country here, World War II, et cetera. You have a really keen sense of being a historian, and a disciple of American history. What excites you about that? Why the interest on that?
Well, I'd have to give my credit to my dad for that. When I would go to the library as a kid, I'd always get all the Pearl Harbor books I could find. I have a fascination in the how the Manhattan Project came about and the dropping of the atomic bomb and stuff. And I've gotten to meet quite a few veterans and was a close personal friend of the radio operator on the Enola Gay. And that particular interest in going to air shows and stuff was a particular bonding that I had with my father growing up.
Well, Brian, I'll tell you what, we're up against the clock in here, but I really appreciate you giving us part of your time and streaming with us today. And all the best of luck this year to you and Valley College Athletics.
It was an honor to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Sylva, a man of many hats and talents, keeping us informed on SBBC's Athletic Pulse. The Jim Murray of SBBC. Thank you for streaming with us. Till the next time, I'm Mike Sola. See you at the games.